What if I were to tell you that there's one thing you could do to make your camping experience easier, faster, and in general just make your life a whole lot better, okay? Well, unfortunately, there is. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you my secret to getting outdoors a lot faster. And take what I have, adapt it to your own circumstances. And of course, you don't have to get exactly what I have here, but this is just a general idea for you to start thinking like the old timers. I'm talking about Horace Kephart, Dan Beard, Ernest Thompson Seton, Nesmith, Edward Caves, Colonel Whelan, and even Buzzacott, Sarge Vining's favorite. So no matter who you are, you can do this, and it doesn't take that long at all. Just a little bit of forethought. And what I'm talking about are kits. Now, if you organize your pieces of camping gear into basic kits, all you have to do is you grab and you go. It saves you time. Now, the first thing I want you to do is find some type of box. Now, I use an actual wooden box, but you don't even have to use a wooden box. If you don't want to make one, you don't want to go find one and adapt it to yourself, I got one that even you can use, and find yourself a rubber tube, okay? This is where you're going to keep all your kits, all the things that you always use. It's in one place. So when you have that opportunity to go camping, day hiking, or whatever, all you have to do is go straight to it. Next thing I want you to do is start organizing your pieces of gear that you always take. Now, the old timers suggest that you actually take a journal. And I know Dave Canterbury and a lot of his old videos, you know, way back, he talked about very common practice. It's something that was actually suggested in the Boy Scout manuals, suggested in the field books and various campcraft writers. So you know this is some solid wisdom. Every time you get done camping, go through your stuff and see what you actually ended up using and see what stuff you really didn't need to use. And then you take the stuff that you didn't use and go through and is it really necessary? Did I take this just for an emergency, or did I take this as a comfort item, or what was the reason behind taking that to begin with? Because then you're going to cut out a lot of weight, and you're also going to cut out a lot of unnecessary items that you just don't need to take. So again, you're cutting time and you're making your life a little bit easier. This is my general kits of what I have. Now, I consider my box a kit in itself, and inside of it has a lot of my small incidentals like my compasses, my knives, my whistles, and my ferrocerium rods, and a bunch of other little odds and ends that I may need to take to adapt to a particular situation. So this, though, is my standby. These are the things that I always take in one iteration or another. Everything is in the classic camping style except my first aid kit. Now, there's a lot of cool things on old school first aid kits, but I suggest that you actually go modern with the first aid kits. You know, don't just take a muslin bandage and expect that to bandage you up and keep it clean in case of an emergency. Okay, actually take sterile items. I use what's called a lock and lock container because it's watertight. If I lose it in a creek or something, it'll float, or at least I know if I have to swim to the bottom of it, I can find it and everything in it's going to be dry. Okay, so find yourself some type of watertight container that you like to use. If it's just a Tupperware container, Cool Whip bowl, or whatever it is that, you know, gets you by from time to time, that's fine. But this is my first aid kit, and I'm not going to go into the details of what's inside my first aid kit, but just know this is the stuff that I need personally in case of an emergency, but also in case, you know, because medications, or I have like a little small container of foot powder in here, incidentals like that I know will make my life a lot better and safer and easier if I do get hurt, injured, or something else. The next thing is my fire kit. Now, this is an old school 1930s Boy Scout fire kit. You can take an old sock and use that as your bag for your fire kit. You don't need anything this fancy, but inside your fire kit, you should have some tinder that's ready. I like to keep a candle stub. I have flint and steel, and of course I have matches, and I also tend to carry a lighter, whether it be a Bic lighter or whether it be a Zippo lighter. Take an actual lighter, all right? Don't just rely on matches. Matches are really nice to have, but we live in a day and age where everybody who goes out camping should have a lighter. Now, in my last video, I also talked about the Altoids 10. This is the Altoids 10 that I used when I was I don't know. It was a long, long time ago. But I used to make char cloth in this thing. It's got a bunch of holes in it. Come to find out, you don't actually need to put holes in an Altoids tin to make char cloth. So now you know if you didn't know before. It's empty right now, but this kind of goes along with my fire kit. If I were going to do very primitive fire making skills, then this would be full of char cloth. So I'm going to put that in with my fire kit for the time being. The next thing is my toiletry bag. Your toiletry bag should include a small towel. It should include a brush. It should include your toothbrush and your toothpaste, deodorant, a comb, certainly a bar of soap of some sort, even if it's just one of those small travel soaps. I have my floss and also have my mirror in here. Now the mirror isn't just for my good looks, but my mirror is also to be used in tandem with my first aid kit. So take a personal kit. This is kind of nice because you can hang it on a tree, you can hang it up in your tent. But like I said, nothing else, just take an old sock or something. Then I have my incidentals bag. Inside my incidentals bag is another kit though, and that is my sewing kit. This is my repair kit. Now depending on what you're using in your camping gear, your repair kit may actually need a little bit more than this or a little bit less than this. But at the very, very basic, what you should have in your repair kit are some needles, some safety pins. I like to take a very small chunk of beeswax with me, a thimble, extra buttons, and of course, thread. That is as basic as you need to go. Some other ideas is depending on what tent that you're taking, you may want to take, heavy duty canvas needles. You may want to take heavier duty thread. You may want to take some extra grommets, and then if you do that, then you have to take an anvil and a setter and all these other things. But if you're just going on backpacking, then this will at least get you by and repair anything that you may need to temporarily until you get to a more stable place. But having a repair kit is pretty important. I also have my other incidentals kit that I always take with me. Inside the incidentals kit is some type of cordage. This is modern cordage, I know. But take extra rope. Always take my blanket pins. I always take a small sharpening stone. And in here, even if my pocket knife has a can opener, I like to take a P38 or P51. It's the little military can opener. You can get these at Walmart still. So saves your hands quite a bit, and they have a lot more uses than just opening up your cans. Inside here, I may also add my compass or something else that I may need, but may not need to get to right away. But most of the times, I really don't need my compass. So most of the time, I don't normally take it. So it just depends on what I'm doing and where I'm planning to go. So this varies from time to time. Lastly is my coffee kit. Now, the reason why this is a kit that's always ready to go, because no matter if I'm going, backpacking, day hiking, camping overnight, camping for a weekend, or extended camping, I know I like to tend to have my coffee or hot cocoa in the morning. So this thing is always packed, it's always full, it's always ready to go. So all I have to do is grab it, and if I'm not making a fire, I may grab my stove. But in general, I always have this. That way, in conjunction with my fire kit, I can make myself some coffee. So in it, I have my little tin container of cocoa. I have my creamer. I have my sugar. And then I have my coffee of choice. Whatever's going on, sometimes it just depends. It could be a mix of various bottoms of the can, so to speak. But these two are just old tin candle containers. These are things I think I picked up at my Hobby Lobby. Now this is an antique cocoa container, cocoa tin, but you don't have to do that. Same thing with this one, it's some type of antique tin. Nothing else, just use Ziploc bags. But always keep them in another bag, like so, and make sure that they're somewhat waterproof or water resistant. That way, your stuff doesn't get damaged, especially with humidity, especially with rain, dew, any type of moisture, that can damage your food items. So you want to make sure that these things are pretty airtight in whatever containers you put them in. And that's it. So those kits, just those kits alone, will help you stay organized and get outdoors a lot faster. It doesn't have to be super fancy, it can be pretty basic. And again, you can modify to what you have readily available and what you can find around you. And even if you don't go traditional or classic camping, you can find old food containers and use them, old spice containers and use them to put your food items in. I like the looks of going traditional camping with traditional items, but even if you're just getting started or maybe that's not your interest, then use your modern stuff. Now, if you like this video, if this has been useful or at least entertaining, please click like. That way it helps other people find it. You'll be helping them and we appreciate it. Also, I want to invite you to join my monthly newsletter because it's coming out at the end of this month. I actually just put one out last week, so if you go on my website, www.honorableoutfitters.com, you can likely find my old post in there with the newsletter. However, if you want to be updated, come straight to your email, that way you don't have to go that route, then sign up for my free monthly newsletter. Don't spam me, it comes once a month. If I have some news about the channel or something, I may send it out to you, so you may get one or two more from me in a month, but generally speaking, it's just the monthly newsletter. I also want to invite you to our Camp Crafters Guild. If you've been on my channel for a little while now, you're familiar with my Camp Crafters Guild. You can try it out for 5 free days. It has a ton of resources, and I'm not just talking about the people. The great people are a wealth of knowledge. We have so many experienced camp crafters on there. We have several inexperienced camp crafters on there who are just kind of learning as they go. And it's an awesome celebratory community to be a part of. And of course, we have an incredible library that Wes and the other members keep adding to it. So if you're wanting to read and study and learn more about traditional camp crafting, that's the place to go. We'd love to see you on there. Now, if you want to see my playlist of traditional camp crafting gear, check this playlist out here. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Give a kiss note to your loved ones, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.